What's good, guys? Welcome back to All About Arsenal, and I think we can agree there's serious problems at the Emirates. Yesterday was a draw to Everton 0-0, and it's funny because when you get a lot of match reactions, the average person says, we lost. It's like a slip of the tongue. It's like, no, we actually drew the game, but it feels like a loss. Fulham draw, Everton draw. And let's talk about that before we go into the main meat in regards to Raheem Sterling. Yesterday, I was on the grounds for a bit, watched the match, and it was a very flat performance. It was probably one of the worst performances I've seen. Questions need to be asked of Mikel Arteta because the tactics, I couldn't quite get it. It's obvious that people are just taking a page out of Fulham's book, sit back and defend against Arsenal. They don't know how to break you down. Fact of the matter is some other teams are going to try that and they might not be able to do it successfully because they might not be as well defensively organised and Arsenal can pick holes. However, if teams are going to do that, it actually probably works in our advantage because if they're going to give us all the possession, it means that with more of the ball, we can make something happen. All right, it's not ideal when teams sit in a low block and us have to come to them and try and make something happen. But what was that yesterday? There was no desire, there was no creativity, there was no ambition on the pitch. It was just get the ball to Saka and see if he can actually do something. And the frustrating thing is that he will have at least two players on him, so it's so tough for him. But the moments that he did get away, he tried to make something happen. He was beating his man a couple of times on the left hand side. What does Martinelli do? He gets the ball, he does a little bit of this as if he's shaking the screen, pass the ball back. That's what he does. Did he beat his player one time in that game? He didn't beat him once. He brought on Trossard. Trossard was a bit better. He tried to get something done, but it was woeful. I don't know what is going on. It's as if we forget how to play football. And the problem is, when we have space, Arsenal are dangerous and teams know that. So guess what? Let's sit back and let's cut off all avenues to their attack. And that's what teams are doing as well. And we know they're going to do that, but we need to find a way. And this is why Mikel Arteta is getting paid millions. This is why these guys are on ridiculous wages, because they are professionals. Even if Arteta is not telling you to do something, you guys have enough experience, make something happen. Even the balls that were getting lofted into the opposition box, nobody was getting on the back of him. No headers, nothing. Set pieces, non-existent, nothing. We couldn't create anything at all. We were stifled. And the family fact of the matter is, a lot of other teams are going to see that and think, oh, we can do that as well. We had teams like Manchester United that came and did the same thing. In a certain way, you can actually see it as a compliment that we're so good that teams just have to sit back and defend against us. And they know that we're dangerous. But then what are we doing with it? Now, this is a problem that they need to sort out. We've got Crystal Palace twice, Carabao Cup, and we've got them in the league as well. I bet they're going to do the same thing. Catch them on the counter, sit back deep, have a good compact structure. Arsenal won't be able to break you down. But let's look at some of the players. Saka was the only one from an attacking perspective that was doing something. Havertz non-existence. Martinelli needs to be dropped. Odegaard, terrible. Ranieri came on, he couldn't really do much. The defensive structure was the only positives about it. Everton were not going to attack us. Everton had no desire to score. See how they celebrated the draw as if they won the game. That was an accomplishment for them. Compliment to us, accomplishment for them. But guess what? These games we need to win. And these teams know it. So they're going to come, sit back and frustrate us. And make sure that we can't get anything happening. Make sure we can't get our best players on the ball. The problem is we're too predictable. Why take off... he took off Rice, he took off Marino, I believe, and you just swapped them for like-to-like players. I would have shifted Odegaard to the left. Try and cook something on the left-hand side. Try and make something work, and then leave Ranieri to the right. Because if you've got Odegaard causing problems on the left, Ranieri on the right, there's two areas that something can happen. It will get them thinking. It will get them guessing. Try and switch sides. Try something new. I don't know, because guess what? I'm not getting paid millions to run a football club. Arteta is. But there's serious problems, because this is what teams are going to do. And I said it. They're going to sit back and defend against us and say, come on, let's have it all day. Let's see what you can do. Main point of this video, Raheem Sterling. Why get Sterling in the first place? Sterling is sitting on the bench, and to me, I think this is an insult on the profile of Sterling. And the reason I say that is this. Who in the Arsenal side is the most accomplished player? It's Sterling. He's more accomplished than Arteta. Probably the most experienced next to Jorginho. And man's left on a bench. What type of insult is that to a player such as Raheem Sterling? What's the point getting him? I remember when we got him, there was excitement. I saw the whole little promo video, him saying that he'll see, we will see the best of him. We ain't seen nothing. And we're pretty much halfway through the season now. We played about 15 games. We got another about 13, 14 left. And guess what? Arsenal are way off form. We're way off form. Sterling is there and he's not being used. I bet you Sterling would have done a better job than Martinelli. Sterling would have taken on and beaten his man a couple of times. Sterling would have made something happen. But the fact is that Arteta can trust to bring on players like Nwaneri, 17, Miles Lewis-Skelly, 18. But you cannot trust an accomplished player such as Sterling, who's won stuff, who knows how it is to be in a team that has a winning mentality. You leave him on the bench. I don't know what's going on. Is there some beef? Or is it the fact that he's not performing well enough in training for him to actually start? I don't get it. I just don't understand. It's a different thing if Sterling was brought on loan by a team like Madrid and he's sitting on the bench. We get it. It's Real Madrid. It's Arsenal, it's not Madrid. Sterling is there. Use him. How fresh is that guy? And the worst thing about it, even if you bring him on, what can you do? He's probably rusty anyway because he hasn't been playing. Listen, I don't know what's going on, but I would only use Martinelli for Carabao Cup games. I will start Sterling. Trossard. Start Trossard. If Trossard's not making something happen, bring Sterling on. Sterling is a good attacking player. I don't get it. He's an accomplished player. He knows how to dribble, get past his play, and make something happen. I remember against the Bournemouth game, we went down to 10 men, we took off Sterling. It's like Arteta's got something against him. It's like Arteta doesn't like him. But guess what? A lot of people are going to start asking that question. You've got Sterling there, experienced, and you don't use him. You bring on Nwaneri, you bring on Partey, you put him as right back against Everton instead of putting him in his natural position. You don't leave him in that defensive number 6 role where he's got a good vision for passes. He can pick out good passes and break the lines. You don't bring him on. You then bring on Partey for right back. This team, Everton, we're not going to press us or attack us at all. I don't even think those guys even had a shot on goal. Listen, if I'm wrong, please let me know in the comments. But we got serious problems. But the advantage I see is that if teams are going to sit back and defend, you know what, guess what? If you're going to have a lot of the ball, it means you can still make something happen. It's better to have the ball than to not be able to have the ball and control the game. If you've got the ball, and I'm sure we had about 80% possession, you can make something happen. Even if they're sitting deep, you can make something happen. It's possible to make something happen. You could have taken off Skelly like you did, and instead of replacing him for Partey and shifting Timber to left back, put on another attacking player. Try and use Sterling as a wing back. Try that. So even if they do try and come out a bit, he can, revert to some defensive duties, and that can open up space. But no, safety first. Look at Liverpool. If they win the league, I can't even be mad at them. They probably deserve it. And the reason I say it is this. They had a player sent off. That was Robinson, I believe. These guys were playing Fulham like they had 11 men. They could have probably scored. They went for the game despite that. Arsenal would have done that. Arsenal, if they go down to 10 men, they're going to sit in the defensive structure. No ambition, no drive. That is what separates Liverpool from Arsenal at the moment. They will chase down the game. Arsenal are not doing that. And some people are saying it's still a bit early about the league, this, that, and the other. Listen, I think, to be honest, it's done. Look how they're playing. They're not playing like a team that desires to win the league. They're just there just to play football. They're there to get a paycheck. And what really upsets me is that you've got passionate fans week in, week out who are in the cold, shivering their nuts off to come and watch you, and you give them that performance. And Arteta turns around and trying to get the crowd. No, you do that to your players. What talk did you give them at halftime? At least when it was against Manchester United, you gave them a pep talk. They came out and they started firing. Teams are going to sit back. So guess what? You're going to have to do something, Arteta. You're going to have to do something because teams are going to sit back anyway. They've seen the blueprint. That's what they're going to do. And if care's not taken, every game we have is going to be a draw. But let me know what you think about Sterling in the comments. Is there something going on that we don't know about? Is he not performing well at training? Because from what Arteta says, every time he mentions Sterling, he says he's always saying things such as he's got a good attitude, he's on it, he's showing passion, he's showing desire. But guess what? We don't see him. Why are you not using him? The question needs to be asked now. Because guess what? If there's nobody on a squad that's going to try and bring on a bit, do something creative, then bring on Sterling. Why don't you bring on Sterling? Shift Odegaard to that left-hand side. Let him do a bit of an 8 role. Then leave Nwaneri. Ranieri with Saka, Sterling with Odegaard. Come on. You trying to tell me through those left and right hand side we couldn't make something happen? Try something different. It's like the game against Monaco. See what they did against us in terms of set pieces? They left players up the field to stop us having a lot of players in the middle to attack the set piece. They were thinking outside the box, and Arteta needs to do the same. But I think the Premier League's over. I think, to be honest, we should just focus on trying to get in the Carabao Cup and FA Cup. If we could come out with some silverware, at least I wouldn't say that's a season loss. But we need to win something. But let me know what you think in the comments. Till the next video, peace.